Hi everyone, Pam Gregory, astrologer. I'm going to be speaking to you today about the first half of June and in particular the full moon that we have coming up on the 2nd of June. This is exact at 9:18 a.m. Pacific and 5:18 p.m. UK time. And the people who are likely to feel this most are anyone born between the 1st and the 5th of March or June, or the 2nd to the 6th of September or December. So this is happening, this full moon, at 11 degrees 49 of Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius is a wonderful sign. It's very positive, it's optimistic, it's upbeat, it's a very expansive energy. It has this restless quality of always wanting to move towards the future and indeed see the future in terms of bigger and better possibilities. It's about belief systems, it's about opinions. So, for instance, if this full moon is falling in any of your social houses, that's the 3rd house, the 5th, the 7th or the 11th in your chart, there could be belief systems or strong opinions coming to the fore in your social life, and there may need to be a change of direction after this full moon. Full moons are always cycles of completion or culmination. So if this falls in your 10th house, there could be the completion of a project or even a job itself. If it falls in your 9th house, this is wonderful. It's likely to help you to travel. And if not travel, then certainly study and learn to expand the mind. So it's either travel of the body or travel of the mind, to understand philosophical subjects or metaphysical things, the nature of the universe. So at full moon, the sun and the moon are always opposite each other. So the moon is in Sagittarius and the sun is in Gemini, together with Mercury and Mars. Now, Gemini is a very intellectual, communicative sign, very strong mental energy, and it's about our thinking patterns. Now, Mercury rules Gemini, so it's in a very strong place, but Mercury is also retrograde up until the 11th of June. And whenever a planet is retrograde, it asks us to go inwards on the principle that that planet represents. So it's asking us to go back over our thinking patterns, go back over our self-talk, because the flotsam and jetsam of the thoughts going through our mind all day, every day, actually really do affect the reality around us. To a great extent, we are who we think we are. And our thinking really does affect our reality day to day. So we have to catch that self-talk and make sure it's very positive. Now, Mercury in Gemini is very quick. It's very bright, curious, witty, observant. But Gemini is also a mutable sign. So it's chameleon-like. It's very easy for it to change, switch direction very quickly. So Mercury in Gemini is actually perfectly suited to our fast-paced technological age, where we're having to switch from one thing to another, one website to another, or picking up emails or snippets of information, because Mercury in Gemini demands a lot of mental input, a lot of mental information. It gathers information all the time. And indeed, some social media sites actually define themselves, like Twitter, define themselves as only allowing a certain snippet of information from each person. So Mercury in Gemini takes all of this on. It has breadth but not depth. It's a kind of mental magpie, but it's very quick and very bright and astute at that. So at this full moon, we have strong mental and intellectual energy. It's about information, it's about beliefs, it's about opinions. But what is really interesting at this full moon is that the sun, the moon, Mercury, Mars and Saturn are all squared, all aspected by the planet Neptune. Now, Neptune has nothing to do with the mental faculty, particularly when it's in Pisces, the sign it rules. It's the planet of spirituality and spiritual integration. So Neptune in Pisces doesn't obtain its information via a quick mind. It obtains its information by tuning in, by really going deep inwards and finding that inner compass, finding that higher guidance, connecting to source. It does it via intuition. It also boosts our imagination. But if at this full moon you can take time out to tune into music, be in nature, meditate, all of those things will help that Neptunian function of tuning into your information, into your intuition and getting your information that way. It's very interesting to me that Gemini rules the lungs and Neptune rules the feet and the blood. So a really wonderful use of this full moon is to meditate outside with your feet on the grass and do a bit of earthing. Pull those strong, healing, negative ions up from the earth, and in a very short time, and this is measurable, you can actually significantly impact the health of your blood. So that would be a really good thing to do at this time. And ask yourself, is the quality of the information you get from contemplation better than the quality of the information you get from your mental faculty? Often it gives us much deeper insights which are much more in line with who we really are. So there's a very strong theme around this full moon of mental patterns, of self-talk, and of communication. And that's even more the case because our next new moon in the middle of the month, mid-June, is in Gemini. And then we will be planting new seeds of communication, new patterns of communication. So it's a very, very clear and strong theme through this full moon. At this full moon, there are 3 retrograde planets. Mercury, which we've talked about, which is this principle of going back over our self-talk and our thinking patterns, making sure they're positive. Saturn is still retrograde in Sagittarius, and that's about going back over your truth, going back over what is authentic for you. And Pluto in Capricorn is still retrograde, and that's asking us to dig deep, to bring up to the surface any emotional blockage that we still have that may be impeding our progress forwards. And we have another wonderful aspect at this full moon, and it's a trine between Jupiter and Uranus. It isn't exact until the end of the month. I'll be talking about that more in the next video. But if you have any planets or angles between 15 degrees and 21 degrees of the fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, this can be wonderful. It's creative, it brings revelations, it brings awakenings. It can bring out of the blue opportunities for you, which can change things. It expands your superconscious perception. So we can see new possibilities, we can see things from a very different angle. And there's always a feeling of exhilaration and liberation with this aspect. It's really wonderful. So if you'd like to know where this full moon falls in your chart, just check out the link below or the link that's appearing above in this video, and that will take you directly to my store where you can buy a 2-part video series that explains very simply and clearly exactly how you can find how this full moon, where this full moon falls in your birth chart, and indeed going forwards where any full moon, any new moon, any aspect at all falls in your birth chart. If you'd like more information about my book, which is now out in audio format, or the free monthly information I put out at the end of each month, about a 2,000 to 3,000 word newsletter, just check out my website, www.thenextstep.uk.com or pamgregory.com will jump you there. And have a wonderful full moon in Sagittarius, and thanks for listening.